legal mixed bag for the Trump administration, the Supreme Court dealing a win to the administration on Monday, allowing officials to restart the swift removal of migrants to countries other than their homelands.
The ruling from a court divided along ideological lines lifts a previous court order that required the administration officials to give detainees a chance to challenge their deportations. DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin celebrated the decision on X, writing in part, "Fire up the deportation planes. DHS can now execute its lawful authority and remove illegal aliens to a country willing to accept them."
But the decision from the High Court comes after a federal judge ruled against the administration, ordering the release of former Columbia University student Mahmud Khalil. Khalil was released over the weekend, there he is, after being jailed for more than 3 months at an ICE facility in Louisiana. He was flagged for deportation due to his involvement in last year's pro-Palestinian protests on the university's campus. Khalil returned to New York on Sunday and was defiant, speaking at a church near the Columbia campus. Take a listen.
It felt like I was literally being kidnapped. I don't remember a time where I considered giving up, because from the moment I got arrested, I knew that my case is righteous. I'm righteous. My speech should be celebrated, not punished. And this is what I will continue to do.
And that was AOC marching alongside him during his release. When Mother Jones reached out to DHS for comment on Khalil's release, the magazine said Tricia McLaughlin appeared to mix him up with Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man mistakenly deported to El Salvador and recently returned to the U.S. Incidentally, a judge has ordered his release as well. In a follow-up statement, Mother Jones said that McLaughlin suggested Khalil use the CBP One app to self-deport.
Not sure why he would self-deport. He's a green card holder. But in any event, I'm obviously happy that Mahmoud Khalil has been released. But I don't know, you may perhaps join me in that, because it was a man who appears to have been jailed, detained for more than 3 months for his beliefs.
This one, much more so than, they're just totally different cases, but they happened at the similar times and got discussed together, much more than Kilmar Abrego Garcia. This one seemed to be a no-brainer to me that he should not have been detained. I mean, he was not under arrest. He was just taken by the immigration authorities, despite being a green card holder. They clearly thought, I think the way the administration handled this was bad on so many levels. They clearly did not know that he had a green card rather than a student visa, which offers more protection. And then they just chalk up. I was just looking on social media about this. Sorry, I don't have my laptop, so I'm looking at the phone.
Ahead.
Right, so the Representative Wesley Hunt says, just days after a federal judge orders the release of Mahmoud Khalil, he throws an anti-Israel rally at Columbia. Khalil is not a legal citizen, yet a federal judge has granted him the position to continue spewing anti-American rhetoric. Again, it's that, so at first it's an anti-Israel rally, and then it's anti-American rhetoric. Well, is all anti-Israel rhetoric anti-American? Because Donald Trump this morning called Israel the F word because he was mad at them about what they're doing with Iran. So it's, do you see what I'm saying? So that's just the incoherence of this. That Mercedes Schlapp, another conservative commentator, says, if he doesn't agree with U.S. policies, he shouldn't be here. I applaud Secretary Rubio for looking at student visas to make sure they don't hate America the way that people like Khalil do. But again, I am not hearing that he hates America. I'm hearing that he disagrees with America's foreign policy in this aspect, as do tons of people all over the ideological spectrum, including on the right, including like Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Candace Owens and Steve Bannon. So I don't. So that's what's frustrating to me about this one. I just don't. Now, I have not, I will admit, absorbed every single thing he's ever said about Israel, and I might find plenty of it wrong or even loathsome. I might think it's really, really awful and hateful about that country. Again, it's not our country, it's a different country. I might think that I might not want to march, next to him but I would support, like the ACLU does, for people whose views are probably more vile than his, even from my perspective, that, you shouldn't be imprisoned for that. So maybe I could question if, the politics of celebrating or appearing alongside him, but it's just the question of whether he should be allowed to be here and say what he says about American foreign policy is open and shut to me.
Right, and the idea that he is a danger to American foreign policy simply by criticizing it is, I think, an absurd notion. Right. It is worth...
That applies to Steve Bannon and Tucker Carlson. There's no way around that.
Exactly. It's people simply expressing the right to dissent. And the judge in this case, in Khalil's case, did note that the government's evidence in his mind, in the judge's mind, did not provide evidence of acts of violence or destruction of property or even incitement to violence. So, I mean, he's in the clear in that respect. I just want to pick up on a really good point you made in terms of the anti-Americanism, but also the phrasing of those demonstrations as anti-Israel. Why are they so frequently characterized as anti-Israel and sometimes anti-Semitic when in fact they can be pro-Palestinian in terms of those people's right to a peaceful life and to their homeland, or also just pro-compassion and pro-humanity and therefore opposed to people getting slaughtered by the thousand?
Yeah, and that's all fine. I will say I have been surprised by some of the characterization, for instance, of the events of October 7th as like a good thing by, for instance, National Students for Justice in Palestine celebrating that. So I have, now, that does not characterize all of the protests, and I think it's your right to protest as ugly or vile as the speech may be, but let's have peace in the region. That's what we should move forward toward. That does it for us today on Rising Live. Look out for more exclusive YouTube content, coming your way later today. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe to The Hill's YouTube channel so you never miss any content for those who like to listen while on the go. We're now available anywhere you listen to podcasts, and it is just Tuesday, so we shall be back tomorrow for more news commentary. We'll see if Trump drops any more F-bombs.
You'll have your laptop back.
I'll have my laptop back, hopefully. We'll see. Bye-bye.